What is going on, everybody? We are back with another CCW review. I'm Nick,
And I'm Joe.
and we're here to talk about AEW Collision for March 28th of 2026. And
Yeah,
a pretty good night. Honestly, it's two back-to-back collisions that have been pretty solid overall. Not like
you're not wrong.
as far as wrestling goes, because last week's was a two-nighter, but even still,
I kind of like
um,
this collision a little more than I like the Dynamite, I think,
wrestling
which is
wise,
rare.
yes. Although I think the storytelling on Dynamite for me was better. But
Well, what little stories were told,
minus a couple of weird fucking Kenny Omega segments.
it was way too much Kenny. And I get it, he's in the main event at the pay per view, but that was a lot of damn Kenny. That could have been one segment.
Yeah, it could have. But before we get started, we went to Circle City Expo today. Squared Circle Expo?
Squirt Circle Expo, there you go.
Squared Circle Expo. Listen, we live in the Circle City. So, like, they got to stop playing on the names. It confuses me. But yeah, Squared Circle Expo. And we got to see some people we saw last year.
Yep. There was
Uh,
an SR sighting. I got
there
to
was
see Denise Salcedo.
Badass Billy Gunn tried to sell us some New Age Outlaws action figures.
Yeah. Max Caster stood in a chair the entire time we were there.
And I looked at him like he was weird, not because he was standing on a chair, but because I thought it was Max, but I couldn't really tell because Max looks so different in person than he does on TV.
He looked like a normal dude.
He did. Like when I first made eye contact with him, I was like, "Why are you in the chair? And who are you?" And then he actually made eye contact and like almost kind of motioned me over, and that's when I was like, "Wait a minute, is that Max?" And then I walked away because I wasn't gonna.
Like not interacting, not interacting.
Um, but yeah, we got to see. I mean, we went to this convention last year, and I think there's like 3 or 4 people for sure that came back from last year. Blue Meanie was there last year. He was there this year again. Um, Hornswoggle. I don't remember what his real name
Swoggle
is.
was there.
He was
I
there
think
last
Billy
year.
Gunn was
Or
there
this
last year as well.
Billy Gunn. I actually think Billy Gunn and Road Dogg both were, if I remember correctly. I
I don't
know
remember seeing Road Dogg last year.
he might not have been. I know. So some new people that we got to see. Brody King never showed the fuck back up. I hope he's all right.
Well, not while we were there. Masahiro Chono and
Uh,
Sonny Ono and oh god, Great Muda. They
Muda was
weren't there while we were there either. They apparently, I don't know if they had travel issues or what, but they just hadn't arrived yet.
yeah. We got to see your favorite wrestler.
Who might that be?
Fuck, dude. Now I said it, and
Are you talking about Eddie Kingston?
yes, Kingston.
Yes, we did see Eddie Kingston, and Ortiz was there with him.
Yeah. So yeah, they had some cool people there, and there were way more than that too. All of my Attitude Era crushes were there. It's fantastic.
Yeah, DDP was there. Molly Holly was there. I mean, I could.
Yeah.
There was a ton of people.
My
I mean, I'm not gonna go over the whole lineup, but
my female crushes when I was watching wrestling when I was younger were Molly Holly and Kelly Kelly. Um, I had a thing for blondes. What can I say? And then people are like Lita or whatever, and I'm like, no,
no, the blonde ones.
the
The
blonde
blonde
ones.
ones, please.
Trish Stratus was all right too, but I was way more into the other ladies. Um, but no, it was really cool. We got to see Lillian Garcia. We walked right by her. That was pretty fun.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Taka Mikonochu walked right by us in the hallway.
Oh yeah, yeah. Taka Michinoku was there.
So that was pretty cool. That's like my favorite part is walking by the wrestlers as they're walking through the hallway and not saying shit to them because I don't want to be that weirdo that stops fucking wrestlers in the middle of the hallway.
Right.
Because I try to be respectful of the people.
It's weird, dude. I met Bret Hart last year, and it was like, "Hi, sir. How are you?"
Yeah, what do you even say to these people? Like, I made a
Really
joke.
loved your work.
I had made a joke. What was it about Shayna while we were there? And I was like, man, like, you can't just walk up and talk to them in kayfabe because it's weird. Because like,
Yep.
I wanted to walk up to Shayna Baszler, who was also there today, and be like, "So why'd you beat up Tony Storm?" We don't know that it's her, but like, I jokingly think it is. I won't say jokingly. I think it is. It makes sense in terms of all the MMA people that it seemed like they were about to start kind of pulling in.
I would be happy with Shayna going to AEW.
I would
Another
too.
quality wrestler for the women's side.
I do too.
Wouldn't be mad at that at all.
But like, I don't know. That's just weird to me. Like walking up and talking shit like that. Like, I'm sure they get it all the time.
It is weird.
But if you guys also see the people that go to these conventions, like by God, I don't know how. Anyways, listen, wrestling fans are a different breed, man. Wrestling fans are a different breed.
I was gonna say, if you look at these people, us that go to these things,
No. Because
no,
again,
there's levels to this.
there's Deans,
levels.
and then there's us. No.
No. Yeah, there's levels.
There's even Dean's not that bad. There are just some people that are like, oh my goodness, dude. Like, you know those pictures where people are like making fun of people online? They're pretty accurate. We'll just leave it at that.
That's probably a good place to leave it.
So anyways, AEW Collision. Match 1. We open up with the Babes of Wrath versus the Divine Dominion.
Yeah, don't care for their tag name, but this was a pretty good match.
I just sent you our thumbnail. These women have an it factor look-wise that is unmatched by any other
duo.
And maybe any other women. There's something.
They make it work.
Oh, dude. Their entrance, I was watching their entrance and was amazed. And I mean that in like the most genuine, just like, I could not believe the like presence that they had out there. Just in their entrance alone. And then once they actually got things moving in the ring, again, they play the powerhouses really well. And you might be right. Lena might be slightly better than Megan Bayne.
I think so. I think so.
As an actual wrestler, she was laying in some shots. Like she hit this running, sliding clothesline on somebody that was just sitting up on the mat. That looked like it probably sucked.
The only thing I didn't like in this match, there was a couple of strikes that clearly didn't hit that people still had to sell.
Right.
But other than that, this was a really good match.
There's this like punching method that's being used a lot now by almost everybody that wrestles. It's like these overhand punches where they're connecting with like the fingers instead of the knuckles. I don't know. They always look rushed, and it always looks so fake. And it's more so when they're like punching somebody while they're on the ground that it happens, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, because the person you're hitting, if you don't at least come in contact with them, they don't know when to sell, so it looks weird.
Yeah. Other than Bayne almost dying by diving through the ropes and getting her foot caught in the process, she's a big lady. Probably shouldn't be doing dives through the ropes. I'm just saying, Megan, save your own life.
Well, especially when you're a powerhouse, you don't need to.
No. The match was pretty fucking fire. I like the match.
Yeah. And the right team won.
Yeah. Absolutely. You
want to go over the finish?
Oh, fuck, my bad. I didn't even write down the finish. What was there? Oh, that stupid fucking move that I still hate. They
heels hit the gates of agony.
They did it. They at least do it slightly better.
It's a double choke slam. Theirs is actually a double choke slam.
Yeah, it's slightly better.
Yeah, they did it to Harley.
Yeah, they did. Listen, I would have liked to have seen them do it to Willow, but I don't think. Well, I mean, they could probably do it. Let's be real. There's some big women.
Yeah.
Backstage segment, the Brawling Birds, I guess, want to team with Mina, or are going to team with Mina tonight. Which I was like, all right, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah, it was a very long promo segment that didn't accomplish much except for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words used for that brief little time to set up the match.
Match 2, Myron Reed of the Rascals versus Johnny TV. I got excited for the wrong reason at first, but then was excited after. So when they first were coming out, I thought it was about to be Myron versus Mason.
Yep, not quite.
Only because, and I got excited because Mason's actually my favorite member of the actual MXM tag team.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I understand.
he's actually going to get a singles match. Dope. He's a really
And
good.
he's the one that wrestles the least. It seems like.
Yeah, he's a really good big man. Anytime I've seen him wrestle, he's entertaining.
Yeah. I agree.
But then they separated him and Mansoor, and it was Johnny TV. And then I was like, but it's Johnny. And I've always been a fan of Johnny TV, Johnny Nitro, whatever you want to call him. In fact, a part of my big disappointment from Revolution was he was in the Battle Royal and had no great Battle Royal spots like he used to do. He's the one that originated all that.
All the Kofi stuff.
Yeah. There used to be a Johnny TV or Johnny Nitro spots. He would do the stuff where he would like go to get thrown out, and he would end up jumping and leaping and landing on like the announce table and doing handstands ringside so that his feet didn't touch the ground and stuff. And then eventually Kofi took it over because I think Johnny got injured doing it one time.
Well, and he was out of the company at some point as well.
So, anyways, I got excited again because I was like, okay, it's Johnny TV. I can't be too mad about that. MXM got involved early, like really early, like beginning of the match early. And it's a pretty decently well wrestled match. Myron wins with.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't all that exciting. It was fine.
Myron wins with his finisher, which is a springboard 450.
Yep. He at least sold the impact on it. Yeah, so kudos to him for that.
We get a backstage segment, which are the Death Riders basically just talking shit about Private Party. That was fun. And then we get another backstage segment, which is Private Party basically talking shit about the Death Riders. Theirs was actually a pretty. I actually really liked their. Well, it wasn't there because one of them didn't say much. It was what's his face? Listen,
Isaiah Cassidy.
I can never remember Isaiah's name for the life of me, dude. No matter how hard I try. But Isaiah Cassidy, he was the one that mainly talked, and it's actually probably one of the better promos I've heard him cut. Usually he annoys the shit out of me, but he wasn't super high pitched and excited.
He more like a human being.
Right. He like slowed it down, said what he had to say. He was like, yeah, don't think we didn't forget about what you did to my hand. Not that it matters. So, match 3. Death Riders versus Private Party. I put in my notes, can't wait for Garcia to eat this pin because that's who I thought was going to eat the pin because that's the only reason he's ever in a match.
Nope, he didn't eat any pin.
He sure didn't. By the way, at some point during this match, and this is the first time of twice, I will call out Shivani for misnaming a move. He hits a regular pile driver, and Shivani calls it a tombstone pile driver, and I wanted to reach through and smack the shit out of him. I was like, he's not even in the right direction for it to be a tombstone pile driver, you fucking turd.
He just says things wrong to just
irritate me, probably.
to bring greater emphasis onto a thing. I mean, there's no way he actually thought that was a tombstone pile driver. Or he's just not watching the fucking same show we all are.
He's watching an episode of Raw from like 1999 or some shit.
He's still watching the Monday Night War stuff. It just happened to line up.
Did anyone do a tombstone over in WCW? Like, has he ever said those words in his life? I don't. I think Fit Finley did.
Probably. I'm sure somebody did. It's not, jumping off the page at me.
Right. So, anyways, Garcia ends up making Cassidy tap with a sharpshooter. Match was pretty decent. It was better than I thought it was going to be because, again, it was fine. I'm not a Private Party fan and never have been. I know they're big in the ECW, in the AEW like fandom. I don't know why.
I don't know how or why. They're not around enough, and the only good matches they've ever had is with the Young Bucks.
I could agree. I could agree. Um, but a pretty overall mediocre match. There
Yeah,
were
it was fine.
a few cool
Nothing bad, nothing great.
high spots, and that was about it. Apparently, backstage at the Ring of Honor pay per view, Kenny apparently challenged Ricochet, so now it's going to be the Demand versus Kenny, Jack Perry, and Brody King. Pretty good promo work.
Win.
Uh, Dynamite. They announced that later, but
Ah.
pretty good promo work. Other than every time Tonga Leona was trying to be all screamy at me. I'm like, calm down, dude. One time he like spit and his fucking spit like landed in his beard, and I'm just like, bruh, calm, chill, relax. Um, it's okay to be intimidating without, you know, being weird.
With all the spittle.
Match 4. Mina Shirakawa versus the Brawling Birds. That would have been fun. Mina Shirakawa and the Brawling Birds versus Nikki XS, Amina Belmont, and Haven Harris. I had to pause it to write all of their names down.
Yeah. And you pausing to do that probably was longer than this match.
No, not really.
No. That's an exaggeration, but this match wasn't long.
Yeah, Nikki XS eats a 2 birds 1 stone and then gets figure 4 leg locked by Mina, and that's how the match ends.
Yeah, pretty much.
This match sucked. Listen,
But post match,
it's a squash match filled with people I don't enjoy. So I mean, I'm yeah.
you think you don't care about this?
Listen,
Just wait.
Listen, Mina and not Mina. I'm sorry, the Brawling Birds specifically still don't even have a real tag team chemistry, and it's driving me nuts. And when I mean tag team chemistry, so during their entrance, they have this thing that they do where it's like they go for a high five, but they pass through and lock arms and like their elbows. One of them always seems off when they go to do it, so it doesn't look very good. Always. Like they get to the ring and they do moves and like they're supposed to be doing like tag team things together with like when they're wrestling with other people. They're supposed to be doing similar moves to try and make it look like they're on page with each other.
Like there's symmetry.
Yeah, and it's never on page with each. Like it's always off. And I'm just
they're clearly two singles that got stuck together.
and I'm gonna be honest with you. During the entrance, Hayter looked so uninterested in what was going on.
Yeah.
I was just like, she doesn't like. She's looked uninterested in everything she's doing since she's been back. Whether it's been singles,
don't disagree with
tag,
that.
she does not look like she wants to be wrestling, and I don't know. I don't know. Tekla and Cruz show up in the crowd. post match. I'm sorry. Hayter grabs a mic. They want Mina to know that they didn't do anything to Tony, and they aren't happy about Mina losing due to brass knuckles last week because I'm supposed to care how you feel about how Mina lost, right? I also don't think anyone expected it to be you to have beaten down Tony. As a matter of fact, I think the two of you are the last people anybody thought had anything to do with Tony. In fact, I don't think I even thought of your names. I try not to.
They just want to preemptively get it out there that they're baby faces, and that's not what baby faces do.
Oh, dude. Thankfully, Tekla shows up and at least entertains me a little bit.
Yeah, she tried, but her promo wasn't that good this week.
She says she's the champ and all of them are nothing. And I was like, we can agree. I'm sorry. That's fucked up. She's like, I swear on the cold, dead body of timeless Tony Storm that if any of you tried
it had nothing to do with it.
No, she didn't say that. That if any of them tried to take on the triangle again, that they'll end up just like Tony. Now, what's funny is Tekla is playing it up like she's the reason that this happened, and I have a feeling she's not.
No, she's clearly not. It's going to be Mina that was the one that did it. That if I had to guess based on this preliminary.
I think it is too. I'm just curious if she did it for The Rock.
I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people.
Um, so Mina wants a trios match next week, and we're gonna unfortunately get that. Good, a match with 5 women that I really don't want to see wrestle out of the 6. It's gonna be a fantastic fucking match. Anyways,
It's going to be something that takes place in the future. That's for sure.
backstage, Kyle Fletcher doesn't want to talk about MJF, but he loved what Mark Davis did to Darby. He still wants them to take the world title, and he feels robbed out of the trios title. Okada is, for some reason, upset that Kyle and Takeshita had a moment. However, after everyone makes examples of their opponents tonight, Fletcher wants to go for the world title. Buddy, you've got a long line ahead of you.
That's what they should have done when the TNT title got off of him the first time.
Ain't that the truth? Match 5, Tommaso Ciampa versus Ace Austin, which actually ended up being my match of the night.
That's my match of the night as well. Started a little slow, but it picked
So-
up.
At the very, very beginning of the match, I was laughing my ass off because Ace was finding new ways to get Ciampa out of the ring. And if I remember correctly, wasn't Ace Austin the one that eliminated Ciampa in the Battle Royal? I think he was, and
I think so.
and I think that's
I
what
think so.
I think that's what
Because I was mad.
yeah, I think that's what this was playing into, was since he was the one that eliminated Ciampa in the Battle Royal, he threw him over the top rope or caused him to go over the top rope like 3 or 4 times at the very beginning of the match, and I was laughing because
Trolling him.
Ciampa was even getting mad, obviously kayfabe, but it was some fun callback to the Battle Royal. Listen, I am an Ace Austin fan. But this man kicked out of an Avalanche Psycho Killer, and it annoyed me.
Oh.
Again, it's not
I
even...
mean, it led immediately to the finish, though.
It did. But it's still, like, that's a finisher. I mean, I know he's been primarily using the knee to the face to get the actual wins. But it's an Avalanche Psycho Killer. Like, come on, fam. Which, this isn't on Austin. It was whoever produced the match is having people do this. I'm tired of it. But yeah. Champ ends up hitting the running knee, gets the win. Pretty good match. A few really good spots throughout it as well.
Yeah, he gave Ace Austin a lot of offense, so he tried to, put the shine on the kid. So, and that's all you can ask for a vet like that who's in that spot, who's who's going to go over. But he put some good shine on the kid. It wasn't overly done. Had he then kicked out of one of his knees, then it would have been a little crazy. But
right. Post match, Ciampa made it seem like he was going to take out Juice, who ran down to check on Ace.
Well, he came out with Ace.
Oh, did he? I thought he'd run down the ramp. Because I don't remember him being ringside for the most of the match. Again, though, I was in and out of it. But it looked like he was going to take out Juice while Juice was checking on Ace. Juice kind of flexed at him, and he backed off. And I think they're setting up for a match between Juice and Ciampa, which I am also excited for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Not at all. I think it would be the type of match that could actually go really crazy. Juice is just a crazy dude. Crazy dude.
He's got a weird style, so he has to be kind of crazy.
Yeah. Backstage, the Rascals say that if they win, they'll be one step closer to other assorted title shots. Also backstage, the Babes of Wrath, they're remembering the good times. They wouldn't want to do this without each other. Harley asks if they're just supposed to stop talking now, and Harley's like, no. Or Willow's like, no. And then Harley's like, yeah, but you need to focus on the TBS title, and I'm just gonna go wherever the wind takes me. Maybe she's the one that took out Tony Storm. That would be
interesting.
It won't be, but I'm curious on what they're gonna do with her now that uh, there's not a reason for them to be teaming.
Uh, maybe we'll get some actual singles title matches on television for a
No,
change.
I don't mean Willow. I mean Harley.
I know, but I'm just saying we'll finally get some singles title matches from Willow.
Right.
Harley, I think Harley is going to end up working her way into a match with Willow for the TBS title.
Yeah, I could see it.
Harley's looked good the last few weeks.
Dude, Harley is one of the most, in my opinion, improved wrestlers on that AEW roster in the past like year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, she's
putting in work.
She's looked really good since the pay-per-view. She's certainly been holding her own.
Match 6, the Rascals versus Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. Versus Aussie Open, baby. It's the first time they've just been tagged together in a while.
Since they essentially split up and Kyle became a single.
Yeah. Basically 2 injuries ago for Mark Davis. Listen, Mark Davis is just a monster, dude. He goes on these tears in the middle of these fucking matches where he just manhandles the fuck out of everybody, and I love it.
Yep.
He is the best monster character, in my opinion, on wrestling TV, period, right now.
I agree.
And that's
he's a big-bodied guy that actually wrestles like a big-body guy. He's what I kind of want Brody King to be, but Brody's too busy
barking
and doing fucking suicide dives.
Listen, I like the barking. I'm not going to complain, but I do think he needs to just start beating the fuck out of people. Just beat the fuck out of people.
Do what he did to Max to earn that title shot. Just squash people.
Absolutely. Okay, here's where we got the second fuck up by
Schiavone.
Schiavone.
I threw you all off by calling him Schiavone.
Wentz did a stunner in the ropes, and Schiavone called it a cutter.
Well, kinda.
No, there's a clear difference.
It all comes from the Ace Crusher, but we're splitting hairs, but it is still a mess up.
It's driving me nuts, okay? Schiavone needs to be taken off of commentary. I don't know why Tony insists. I know why.
Because he's the living legend, Tony Schiavone.
Because Schiavone's been around in the industry longer than I've been alive, so I understand. I just don't care. Davis ends up hitting a gut wrench pile driver on Xavier. Gets the 3 count. And listen,
the right team won again.
This was an absolute just abrupt end to the match. Like, you know how matches you always feel like it's working towards that end, and you're like, all right, we're close to the end.
Okay, we're done.
No, it just came out of nowhere. He tagged in, he grabbed that motherfucker, flipped him upside down, dropped him on his fucking neck, and then pinned him. And it ended. And I was like, I love it because that's the kind of person Mark Davis is. He's just gonna come in. I'm done. Boom. We're moving on.
Yeah, no more. This is done.
That's one of those things that I don't want it to happen all the time, but when it does happen, it almost gives you that real fight feeling where it's like at any moment it can just be done. Not everything needs that emotional, just crazy build to an end. And I was like, oh, that was fantastic. Backstage, Ricochet is with Don Callis, and Callis wants to pay him a lot of money to take Kenny out. And I said, we're getting a lot of Ricochet tonight. It's almost like AEW is like, guys, he's not going anywhere.
Go be overexposed on television. I don't like the Ricochet Don Callis thing, but if it's a way to get him on TV to watch him wrestle incredible matches, okay. Even though we did this thing before with them and the Don Callis family.
Yeah. Backstage, the Jet is going to turn any dream into a reality. And tonight, he's going to become a double champion. He actually had one really cool line that he said somewhere. because he had mentioned he's going to turn any his dreams into reality, and then he was like, "But I'm going to turn Okada's dream into a nightmare." And I was like, "That was a nice line." Um, I was
I'm getting tired of the Jet.
I like him more and more every time he talks. You seem to dislike him. I love the cocky, fucking overly cocky attitude that he's putting out because it's eventually going to bite him in the ass.
Well, he doesn't win every match anyway, so it kind of already does.
Right.
But I get being confident is not a bad thing, and his wrestling's fine. I really don't understand the disconnect. I don't know if it's the weird, sparkly outfit. I don't know. I just don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
He hasn't been around long enough to put out the cocky attitude for a lot of people. It's like when
maybe that's what it is. It's coming across as like
it's like when
overconfident and boisterous.
It's like when you and I would hang out with a new friend, and new friend would talk shit to you like you guys were friends, and then it just always
like, yeah, we don't have that kind of rapport yet. You motherfucker, you.
That's probably what's kind of happening here. He just kind of shows up and is just this cocky dude. And it's like, motherfucker, we barely know you.
You haven't earned that yet. Win some matches. Yeah, man, you know what? You know me so well. That is probably exactly it.
But then we get to the match. Well, we'll get there. Also backstage, Mox was like, "You won't be seeing Private Party anytime soon." And I'm supposed to. He's like, I don't feel bad about that.
That's just like their normal cadence of of the way they wrestle and appear on TV, anyways.
They stepped into a fight, and he's like, and I'm supposed to feel bad about Ospreay. No one would clear him, so he took on an unsanctioned match with a broken neck. Why am I supposed to feel bad about this? He's like, Will got what he asked for. And then we get match 7, which is our international championship match, Okada versus Kevin Knight. And honestly, this was probably my second favorite match of the night. I thought they did a really good job together. And it's
my second favorite match was the tag opener. This didn't do a whole lot for me.
Okada was no-selling Kevin's chops at one point, and it had me laughing.
Okada, if he's not in a big match, just seems like he puts in no fucking effort, and it just bugs me.
There were some really cool couple of spots, though. Okada DDT'd Knight onto the ground outside.
Yeah, he did his drop kick. He did his normal shtick. He
did his normal stuff. Kevin Knight went for a UFO splash that was way too far away and ended up landing on Okada's face. I thought Okada was about to beat the fuck out of him in real life.
Receipts, bitch.
Immediate receipts. But actually, shortly thereafter, they got into a roll-up battle, and Okada ends up rolling him up, holding the ropes, gets the win. And
yeah, I didn't like this match because of the ending. The wrestling part until the end is fine. I just don't understand why we have to overprotect all these baby faces all the time. It ain't gonna hurt Kevin Knight to take an L from Okada, who is a singles champion and like your second biggest star on the entire freaking
a wrestling legend.
Yeah, it would not hurt him to lose clean.
No. Honestly,
I don't get it.
Listen, one of the things I wish wrestling would get away from is dirty finishes. Not dirty finishes. Well, yeah, dirty finishes, schmaz finishes, unless it's gearing towards something, right? Like, yeah. I don't mind if this was like a dirty finish that in turn eventually leads maybe down the line.
Like trios match or something because they're the trios champs or something like that.
To Kevin winning the title off of Okada.
Yeah,
right?
That's never going to happen.
But that's probably not going to happen. Or if we get a dirty finish in another way, say somebody came out and interfered, which then sets up a match for Kevin Knight and that person. Like,
yeah, and there's a shitload of Don Callis people that could have done it. There's a bazillion of those bastards.
But there's no, like, I am so tired of honestly protecting everyone. It's not just protecting
Yeah.
baby faces. It's not just protecting heels. Not everything needs to be protected 100% of the time. Like, way too many people worry too much about the standing of wrestlers and whether or not they're getting buried, which most of you don't even know what getting buried actually means. You just think if your favorite wrestler loses 2 or 3 matches, they're buried, and that's not how fucking wrestling works, man.
Nope. You're
It's just
supposed to
not.
lose. It's a competition. You're not supposed to win every competition.
It goes back to what you and I were talking about with the curtain being pulled too far back. Everybody thinks they're expert fucking bookers, and none of you guys know how to book a fucking show. I don't know how to book a fucking show. I watch as a goddamn fan. I could talk about the things that I don't like, things that I do like, things that I think would be better.
And I booked a small promotion, so you know what? I'm right.
Our backyard
No,
shit does not
teasing.
count.
Hey, I did a good job.
But no, it was. I just.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's
Like, it's not gonna hurt anybody. It makes Okada go, because Okada was going over anyways.
Yeah.
Knight loses regardless. So what does it matter if it's it's not
You know
going to
what?
hurt him in either way to get pinned by Okada with Hi Shark. What are you doing, buddy? Dog just climbed up on
Do-
the
Do you know what I
table
think
here.
is missing from storytelling and wrestling overall?
What's that?
A heel that gets himself intentionally disqualified.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we got to
It's just
see.
like, I'm not gonna fight this fucking dude. I'm just gonna beat him up for a change.
We saw Jay do it Monday, but like he's supposed to be a face. So like I get they're pushing him towards, and they obviously weren't going to do that tonight because then people are like, oh, they just did that with Jay on Monday. Now you're just copying WWE. But
Well, hey, if SmackDown can have the same finish for 3 of the 4 matches that they put on, you know, what's AEW copying one finish from the other guy?
right, but like we just like you never see it happen at all anymore. Like, and you know, yeah, I'm not talking about like at the very beginning of the match, but usually like when it would happen, it was because a heel was starting to get overwhelmed, and they were just like, "Fuck it, kick him in the dick."
Right? Yeah, I'm done with this. And then you could have the whole team come out and they all beat him up, and
Yeah.
then his friends come out, and you could end the show in a big schmoz. You'll set up the 6-man tag that you're inevitably going to have next week, anyways.
Every week, there's always
At least then it makes sense.
And AEW loves their 6-man tags, boy. Oh, they love their 6-man
Yeah,
tags.
get as many people on the show as possible. There's 1,000 people on this roster.
So that was the end of that. I feel bad for Okada's face. I'm glad he shook it off, though.
Yep.
Again, overall, I really enjoyed the show.
A
Now,
very easy watch. Very easy watch.
apparently, Kenny Omega had mentioned at some point. He said, "Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, I would say, is the best wrestling game of all time." Again, I haven't played much. I've played one match of Virtual Pro Wrestling 2.
It's essentially Japanese No Mercy.
It's actually essentially Japanese WrestleMania 2000, but that's a whole nother story.
I think it has running grapples in it, which is the only thing differentiating WrestleMania 2000 from No Mercy, really. That and modes and roster.
Right. It had the same menu system as WrestleMania. It had the same story setup where like you just kind of went to just played matches.
That's okay. I liked WrestleMania 2000. They did. I wonder if it has the belt creation feature.
It might have. Again, I only played a little bit of translated VPW too, like one whole match because my computer couldn't handle the emulation for it. And
Sounds like we're gonna have to buy the cart off of the internet and play it on a Nintendo 64.
if I could find it, I would. If I could find it, I would.
Oh, it's out there.
But he said Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, I would say, is the best wrestling game of all time. I think also another thing that does it, he mentions it here soon in the quote when I'm done with it, but it had an actual MMA mode that we didn't get in any of our games. And it also has, now he doesn't mention this, but a lot of people love super finishers.
Yeah, they had those there.
And we never got super finishers on our AKI games. So he does say both for the roster and the wrestling and mixed martial arts mechanics to it. If AEW were to ever get back into the mix with video games, we had the director of the AKI Engine Games, Geddes-san. We were lucky enough to have him as an advisor for our original project, but I always wanted him to have more power, more ability to control the narrative and flow of the game.
You were in charge of that project, bro. Why didn't you give it to him?
It might not have been
Is what
his.
I would say to that.
It might not have actually been his call. Like, just because he's the front runner and like the person that we're told is doing things, doesn't always mean he's actually the one doing things. If I had to guess, I would say there was probably, and this is probably where a lot of the actual problems came between AEW and Ukes. Ukes probably pushed back on a lot of shit because they have their own way that they've been doing games. And they probably had their own expectations. I've said this before. I would love for them to do a second game. They have the shell. They have the World Tour type shell that is just bare bones, because that's what World Tour was. It's just AEW unfortunately came out at a time where they didn't really have room for that to be that empty and it be a good game. But they did it. So now they just need to fill that shell up with substance. Give us an updated roster, a truly updated roster. Like, I'm expecting 150 fucking people. You have like 300. Like, and I mean people that actually wrestle, not the big shows and Owen Harts and things like that. I mean, I still expect them to eventually make the game, but yeah, it's time to put everything that's supposed to be in it, call it Double or Nothing.
Yep.
And or All In. That'll work the same way.
Either way, just you've got the bones of a very good game. If you can just make it a very feature-rich game.
And please create a player and get rid of having to play through the story to build up your stats for that character. Get rid of stats. There's never been stats in these fucking games before. Stop it.
I mean, they kind of had stats, but it was all kind of behind the scenes thing. Because even when you created a person in No Mercy, you got to like assign, like
their stats were jumping distance and what it does when you get yourself busted open. Do you get mad? Do you?
Right.
But
there's at least something. It's very limited, and that's fine.
Right.
It's what at least gave them some differentiation, and not everybody played exactly the same.
So Aubrey Edwards, since I fucked up her name, recently signed a new contract with AEW. That's fun.
Good for her.
And apparently Scott D'Amore announces that Maple Leaf Pro has a TV deal.
Oh, good for Maple Leaf Pro.
Yeah. And good for Scott.
They've been doing good work, supposedly.
Good for Scott D'Amore, too, man. That man got fired from TNA for whatever reason. Apparently, he helped turn the whole thing around.
Yeah, the roster was not thrilled that he got let go when he did.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
And he's gone on to do good things. And
right.
It's cool to see that AEW and them are working a lot together with talent and stuff. Like, I guess the Rascals are going to go wrestle for something on MLP. They CMLL are sending Mystico and Mascara Dorada over there to do some stuff with them as well.
Nice.
So, another good just opportunity for another good relationship. Just as long as we don't end up getting like more people signed to AEW that's in like dual, triple contracts with other companies. I'm about done with that shit. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for this show, though.
Yeah, good night of wrestling.
It was a good
Not
night.
bad at all.
A good wrestling night. We're back with Monday Night Raw on Monday, and
yeah, hopefully another start of a good wrestling week.
Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. All right, guys, we will talk to you next time. Deuces.
Later.